leap of faith.
This is the way. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Tells me the most relentless.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optix, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network, where we discuss film, TV, and all things pop culture related. I'm your host, Christian, and I'm joined by my co-host, Devin, the man himself. And in this episode, we're going to be discussing Gunpowder Milkshake, the latest Netflix original not series, excuse me, the latest Netflix original film that is out, that is starring Karen Gillan, Carla Giano, Freya Allen, and wait, is that, yeah, Carla Giano? Yeah. And the one and only Lena Headey. I'm sorry about that. And before we begin today's review, you can listen to our podcast on platforms around the internet. And if you're a new or seasoned listener to the show, we would love to hear from you guys. Follow us on Instagram and over on Twitter at Film Optix. Devin, how are you today, my man?
I'm doing good. I really want a milkshake.
I do too.
That movie had just a lot of good milkshakes. And I was going to say, what's your favorite milkshake?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you the same thing. I'm more of a basic person, so I'm just going to go with the old cookies and cream.
That is mine as well.
Oh, there we go, man.
But definitely chocolate over vanilla or chocolate.
For sure, absolutely.
But if cookies and cream is an option, oh yeah, that's the way to go.
Do you remember Steak and Shake?
Yeah, we went there because we were poor and there was $4 dinners.
It was actually really good though. Like the skinny, like I really like the super skinny fries. That was probably my favorite because they were perfect for dunking into your milkshake. So that's what I really, really liked about it. So I was like, this isn't half bad. Not half bad at all.
We had to scrounge up quarters for that.
Dude, oh man. It's now that we're like older, it's like, man, like I have all this. It's like I could go to not Quaker Steak, but Steak and Shake literally like every day of the week.
They're all kind of closed, so it's kind of hard.
Are they really?
A lot of them.
Oh, so are they going like out of business, or
yeah, I think so.
Oh, I did not know that. Did not know that at all. That is,
this movie really could have helped them too.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but I understand the I understand why they're kind of shutting that place down. Well, it's kind of like, what if they ever shut down Taco Bell? Like that would just throw the entire nation into like some kind of peril, like 100%. But I don't know. But before we begin today's review, getting back on track here, as of this recording, we are recording it prior to its release, but it's going to be released after it releases on Netflix. But we just wanted to say thank you, Netflix, for sending us the screener for us to review to our wonderful, lovely listeners out there. So before further ado, we're going to get into our Gunpowder Milkshake review right after this.
I need to exchange some books.
Come.
Well, girl, you'll need a Jane Austen, a Virginia Woolf,
And an Agatha Christie. For reading.
All right. And we're back with Gunpowder Milkshake review. Devin, there seems to be a lot of mixed reviews about this because as of this recording today, the review embargo is up. And I see a lot of people out there who really, really enjoy this film.
Yeah, the few I've seen have been positive, but I haven't seen many.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that statement. I definitely feel like I fall into the minority here, but we'll get into our initial reactions, our non-spoiler thoughts first, and as always, we will get into our spoiler section a little bit down along the road. Like Devin said, I feel like this might be one of our shorter reviews, just to kind of throw that out there. But I wanted to throw it to you, Devin. Give me your thoughts about Gunpowder Milkshake.
Well, I guess we kind of just have to attack the elephant in the room. Just the John Wick comparison. It's going to be inevitable. Like just this type of movie, kind of like a mysterious organization that hires hitmen to kill people. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty basic plot, but John Wick's kind of like the top of the line for that type of movie, like the top of the class. just like the best you could possibly do, because John Wick's, they're all just amazing. And they only kept getting better somehow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It's
Sorry,
I
go ahead.
don't know if I would say it's unfair to compare it to that, but it is really a similar type of story setup. But I did overall. I would say I enjoyed it overall. Definitely had some issues, but it was a nice, fun ride. It didn't take itself seriously at all, which is the good part. It
Yeah.
takes itself less seriously than John Wick does sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. I would agree with that statement. For me, well, actually, let me read the plot synopsis really quick. It's very, very short. It's like you said, that it kind of just cuts straight to the point. It's just 3 generations of women fight back against those who could take everything from them. I will say, when I first watched this movie, I did try to watch Fear Street Part 3, which is now up on the podcast for everyone to listen to our review of that. And I tried to watch Gunpowder Milkshake, all of them the same day. And it was just a long day, working and then going to the gym, coming home, and then, trying to knock out 2 movies. I will say that the first hour of this movie, at least for me, was just a little bit more on the slow side. There were the few little action sequences in between, but once the second hour started hitting, because I think this movie, runtime is 154, 155, something like that, or 152. It really started picking up its momentum in the second half, which I was really, really excited for, because I was very, very worried for a second, but I do agree about the John Wick vibes. It was just there all over the place, but just a loosely based story where, the things are there, but the universe isn't as well built as John Wick, not yet anyway. But
there will be a sequel. It's already been greenlit.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that. Once you get farther into the movie, they do definitely set up for a future installment. So hopefully the second part will be a little bit better than the first. At least for me, like I said, it just started off very, very slow-esque. With Karen Gillan, I love her, but I don't know if she can necessarily carry this role by herself, because a really big selling point for this movie is Lena Headey's in it, and everyone knows her from her amazing work from Game of Thrones. Just something recently that I kind of popped up with, because I know she's been in other things as well, but that's been her cornerstone, her crown jewel as of late. And I think she's also in Fighting with My Family. But yeah, it's I was there for both, for Karen and for Lena. And I think Karen did a really good job, but I think Lena still kind of stole the show. She is more seasoned, she is a more veteran actor. But yeah, that's pretty much my
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one.
Oh, okay.
I think Karen Gillan did a great job. She's slowly becoming an action star, kind of, with Jumanji and obviously the Avenger movies as Nebula.
Oh, of course.
She's kind of nailing down these action type roles. I thought she was great in this too.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I did enjoy Karen in this movie. It's just I felt like I guess it's more, we've seen her in such more of a supporting role that it's weird to see her kind of try to carry a movie by herself. But obviously, as the movie progressed, there are more characters that are introduced that definitely help fill out those roles. But I gotta say, really quick before we get into spoilers, I didn't really care for the for the quote unquote bad guys, the villains. They were literally
that's definitely the weakest point of the movie.
Yeah, they were just there, and I was like, who's this guy again? So went on my second rewatch when I was awake, not sleep deprived from work.
It's cool that they got Paul Giamatti, but he didn't really do much. He's just kind of the overarching guy who has the henchmen do everything else.
Yeah,
the henchmen are just all really, really generic.
Yeah, well, super, super generic. And even with Paul Giamatti's crew, the firm is what they call it. We didn't really spend any time with them. They were kind of just there as a collective to like kind of serve as like the jurors for like the firm, or like, to fill out the firm in and of itself. But like the first like 10 to 15 minutes I loved it, and it kind of like dipped down for me, and then it sped back up, which is what I really really liked. And I was like, oh, this could actually work. I actually like this a lot. But yeah, that was pretty much my initial thoughts. Anything else you wanted to get into before we dive into spoilers?
Let's do it.
All right, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be doing our spoiler review. That is your first warning. Again, that is your second warning. We're going to be doing spoiler review, or our spoiler talk section, whatever you want to call it, for Gunpowder Milkshake. So if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it and come back and listen to the rest of the show. So, Devin, I don't really know if there was much of a twist in this movie, but I really liked all of the bad battery fighting style. Like it was really really nice.
Yeah, I really the scenes that stood out to me were the bowling alley scene and the hospital scene. I thought those were really really cool.
The hospital scene was actually really really funny, because at first I was like, how is she gonna handle this? She gets injected with like these jelly arms, and then when she saves the girl, who I think she was also in Tooth Fairy with The Rock, I believe.
That was a while ago, so that was not her. She was in the one with Dave Bautista that came out.
That was it. I'm sorry. See, everyone's getting their actor, wrestler names mixed up already. So we got that handled out.
It's weird that she's not on the cover. She's like the second biggest character in the movie.
What did you think about her as a character? Because I feel like she didn't do too much.
It's kind of cliche just having the innocent kid follow you throughout. I don't really like the ending they gave her, because it's kind of counterproductive, because Karen Gillan's character throughout the whole movie is kind of like upset at her mom for bringing her into this world and then leaving her. And then they're also going to bring this other 8-year-old into the world, which is weird.
And then Karen's going to desert her, and the cycle of hatred continues.
So I don't know about that part, but I think she was fine overall. Other than that, she had some funny lines.
Yeah, she did. She definitely did. But yeah, I would definitely have to agree with you there, Devin. More so than not, it was just the fighting sequences were really really good. Just
I love in the bowling alley when she gets the jacket. Like that's such a cool moment, because like how do you pull off like a bowling jacket and make it look cool? I don't know how she did it, but it looks so good.
I guess Karen's the only one who can pull that off.
Yeah,
she did a great job.
Like Kill Bill vibes when she puts that jacket on.
Heck yeah, man! Like that was fantastic. But between all the action scenes, those are the things that really stuck out to me, and I just didn't really care too much about the story. Like I went into this movie, I was really really excited. I watched Fear Street Part 3, 1666, and then I was like, wait, I just watched a good movie. Let's keep the momentum going, and then it kind of just like halted, and I was just like, oh well, I mean that's fine. And then like I was kind of waiting for it to pick back up, and by that next thing I knew, I was asleep, and the movie was like pretty much over. But when I rewatched it today, it really just, with Lena Headey and the rest of the cast, they really did shine. And
the one that stole the show to me was Michelle Yeoh. I thought she had some really awesome moments with that chain, just whipping that thing around.
Dude, she was a master of that chain, like 100%. I was just like, wow, this is really really awesome. And then Lena Headey's like knife guns, I guess.
Yeah, those
that
bayonets,
cool.
Pistols.
Yeah. Well, what did you think of the library? And just, I mean, I guess
it's a pretty interesting setting. I think they could have done a little bit more with it. I like how the books have various weapons and money and paraphernalia in them.
Gold. I was like, man, oh man, like these books have everything. Like, how long does it take you to like cut out something like that? But no, that was really really cool. But yeah, what was the villain's name? I can't remember.
Jim McAllister was the one in the diner.
Okay.
And then Paul
Okay.
Giamatti was Nathan.
So would Paul technically be a villain, or do you think he's more of
because
an anti-villain?
they're setting it up to where they're gonna hunt all of them down in the sequel, which again is very John Wick-esque.
Yeah, I keep going back to it, and I really, really hate doing that. It's just like the movie itself. Like, I definitely think people should check it out. Like, it is one of those like cool like action summer blockbusters that people can kind of.
It really is perfect for Netflix.
Yeah, it really is. Really, really is. So between like this and like the Old Guard or
definitely better than Old Guard.
Extraction.
I don't know about that.
Ooh,
You're the Extraction hater here, not me.
Dude, that movie was just nothing but a 2-hour action scene.
That's all you need. It's perfect.
They just kept moving from location to location. I was like, oh my gosh, slow down just a little bit, please. But no, I guess I care more about the child in this movie than from Extraction. Did not care about him whatsoever. I think honestly, people watched Extraction for not Tom Hiddleston, I'm sorry, Chris Hemsworth. Like, that was literally the only reason why they're like, ooh, an MCU actor and something.
They end up having amazing action scenes, which is all you can ask for.
I can't believe that's getting it to like number.
Can't wait.
God, makes no sense. Makes no sense. How does Cursed get canceled and we're getting Extraction? That's just me. I don't know.
Well, one's a movie and one's a apparently below average show.
Wow.
Got him.
Oh, that hurt. That hurt a lot. Oh, it had Captain Langford. How could you? Ah, man, it was. I'm not saying it was perfect, but I mean, Netflix did cancel Daredevil before its time, before Disney even acquired the rights back to those Netflix characters. I'm like, y'all could have went at least one more season, but I don't know. Hopefully they won't do the same thing with Virgin River, because that's my mom's like favorite show on Netflix right now. I think they just released season 3. I'm like, you better pray they get a 4th. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, Netflix usually tends to cut the cords on all of their stuff. So, but yeah, back to the movie review. Sorry about that. Got a little sidetracked, but I thought it was fine overall. Like, you know, I had really good action sequences. I like the mother-daughter dynamic between Karen Gillan and Lena Headey. I thought that was really, really nice. The librarians were a really, really nice touch.
I love when she pulled out that giant machine turret from the van at the end. Oh yeah. And she told the girl, she put headphones on. She was like, you might want to turn this up a little loud. That's also one kind of random issue I had. I feel like the music choice could have been better. Like, in certain moments, I feel like a better song choice would have been a lot more hype. Yeah, I do agree. The needle drops were a bit subpar. Like, I mean, they were fine, but they were just lesser known, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I did pick out a few of them, but I do agree they should have been like more hyped songs, kind of like how they did in Fear Street trilogy. So, you know, that was just that is something that's a really good point to bring up. But yeah, to be completely honest, there really isn't like too much else that I can really come to think of mind about this movie, which kind of worries me a little bit, but definitely going to be watching, you know, when number 2 comes out. Like I said, I thought the mother-daughter dynamic was nice, and just all the librarians coming together. Like, they really truly felt like a long lost family kind of being brought back together again. And just, it's a lot of women out there, you know, kicking some just, you know, owning the town and whatnot. And I mean, I wish we knew a little bit more about the firm, but hopefully we'll get more of that in part 2. So I wonder if it's going to be called part 2 or just 2, like Gunpowder 2 or Gunpowder part 2. I don't know. Gunpowder
milkshake, extra whipped cream,
extra
no
whipped cream.
cherry.
No cherry. The third is with cherries and sprinkles. Something like that. But yeah, anything else you wanted to bring up before we kind of just get into our scores?
Yeah, we talked about how we pretty much liked all the action scenes. The one that I really didn't like was the one in the car garage.
Didn't like that one? No.
I thought that was kind of dumb because, I mean, if you're imagine being an 8-year-old and you're tasked with driving a car. Like, I remember when I first went out and did like a test drive when I was like 15 or 16 or whatever, just to see what it's like. I could not turn that thing at all. I did not figure out the turning radius. And she was like doing perfect turns left and right.
Yeah.
Doing everything perfectly. It was just weird.
All right. Fair enough there, Devin. But I will say that, for an action film, she seemed to know a lot. Like, especially for a girl in her age, she was 8 3/4.
Yes.
8 3/4.
Very important.
But I actually really wanted to talk about that. Reminds me of the hallway fight in the metal.
I loved it so much.
That was actually
destroyed them with their hands behind her back, basically.
I love it how they literally they got beat by her, and they're literally just still in the same cast and whatnot. And
that doctor was really funny too. Like, he just huffs the laughing gas whenever he needs it.
I mean, I guess any sane doctor would, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, I do agree with you there. That hallway fight scene in the infirmary area was actually pretty good. It was this very, very clever way of kind of, not just doing another generic hallway scene, but unfortunately, the villains themselves, they're just very, very forgettable. I won't forget like the rest of the cast performance in this movie, and like I said, the second half definitely saved it for me, because the first half for me was just a snooze fest. I don't know what it was. I came off this big hype of watching Fear Street Part 3, and maybe I was just excited to get into more, and this was totally different, and it kind of just it didn't let me down, but I was kind of just like, oh, like, if it's good, whatever. If not, that's cool too. Like, I think it's good, not great. But did you want to get into scores?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm actually going to go first this time around. I'm going to give this one like a solid, like just a solid C for me. I've kind of already talked about my reasonings behind everything, and just how I feel about it. But solid C. It is a franchise that has potential. I think they just need to refine it a little bit more. But what about you?
Yeah, I was gonna go with C as well. The 70s around there.
Okay. Yeah, so I saw a lot of people on Twitter said they really, really enjoyed it, and I think Jacob said that it was actually in his top 5 of the year so far. I'm like, hey, more power to you. It's just, film is subjective, and I think a lot of people tend to forget that. As much as we, love to make fun of each other for the things that we like or dislike, it's all about, what the piece of art speaks to you and what it means to you. So that pretty much concludes our review of Gunpowder Milkshake. Again, Devin, thank you all. Thank you for coming on again. And that is a C from Devin and a C from me for Gunpowder Milkshake. It just to let you guys know, don't let our reviews or like our scores kind of like dictate what your experience is going to be. We review these movies because, we think people should go watch them and form their own opinions and have a good time. Aside from like maybe 1 or 2 movies that are just like, woo. But we want you guys to kind of just form your own opinions, and just be mindful of other people's opinions when it comes to liking and disliking movies. But like I said, again, that pretty much concludes our review today. You can follow us again over on Film Optix at Facebook and Instagram. That is Optix with an X. And by the time this is out, you can definitely go check out our Loki episode 6 series finale review. And our part 3 of Fear Street 1666 will be up as well. And go ahead and check out we did a Black Widow review a few days ago. We had Fear Street part 1 and 2. Prior to that, if you're still behind on Loki, you can definitely go back and listen to those episodes as well. We got you guys covered. But as of this recording, we don't know what's going to be, what else is going to be coming out that we're going to be reviewing. Probably Space Jam, maybe The Green Knight. Devin, maybe The Green Knight.
Yeah, I don't know when it's coming out, but yeah,
July 30th, I believe so. That's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, those are pretty much everything that we have coming up. And like I said, coming up more than likely TBA. It might be Space Jam, probably, because I don't think anything else comes out that week. So we might do something later on in the week for Space Jam, probably like on a Thursday or a Friday. But since, as of this recording, since Loki is over, we'll be trying to go back to like our regular schedule, which is usually, I think we switched it over to Mondays, releasing on Mondays and recording throughout the weekends. So it seems that we are going back to that. Just want to let you guys know, all of our wonderful listeners out there. If not, if we choose something else, follow us on Twitter, because that is definitely where you can get that information. You can follow me over at Music City Nerd. That is usually where I push all of our content anyway. Just I don't know, because I suck at swapping back and forth between two Twitter posts or 2 Twitter accounts. But yeah, that's pretty much all we had to tell you guys today. And we're going to close out here, and we hope you guys have a good week. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you all for listening. And if you enjoy the show, we greatly appreciate it if you can leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, and follow us on Twitter at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X, to stay in the know. That was Devin. My name is Christian, and we'll see you guys in the next one.